Hello, Guardians. It is Ebontis here, and it is technically October 30th in the morning, but Bungie has been busy this week, and we also got This Week at Bungie's blog article for October 29th covering a few things. Now, we had the Vidoc earlier in the week, Forged in Storm. I covered that in depth earlier. You guys have been watching that one. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying that one. We also got the calendar, lots of things to look forward to. Quite a few questions are out there. We'll have to see what, actually all of some of these things mean when it comes to November 10th. And then finally, we also got the launch trailer today, which you definitely should go watch. It shows some really cool stuff in there. They've got a cool rendition of a song in there. Don't want to mention anything for copyright strikes, but just go watch the launch trailer that launched today. It's fantastic. Can't wait. Honestly, very excited for this expansion. We also got some news about details when it comes to Beyond Light. First one is going to be progression. We know the soft cap is going to be 1200. That basically means anything, including blues that drop in the world, are going to continue to level you up to 1200. 1250, you guys know those are the powerful gear engrams that come from certain activities. And then pinnacle is the last 10 from 1250 to 1260, where it is just pinnacles like raids and dungeons and trials. That type of stuff will take you up there. Powerful reward changes are going to be coming, though. They did state, outside of the challenges that you see in the director, you will have a chance to earn powerful rewards all the way up to the hard cap. So all the way up to 1250, you're going to be able to earn powerful rewards in strikes, gambit, crucible, and from seasonal drops all the way up to the hard cap. This is a cool thing. So if you have exhausted all of your options on the director, you can still continue to play strikes or play crucible matches and have a chance at those things to drop. So you're not just kind of going to hit a wall. You're going to slow down once you get done with the powerful stops. But if you keep playing, you will still continue to be able to have a chance to level up. This is a good change. Totally like to see this. Hopefully the chance isn't really small. I'm hoping it's a reasonable chance, like every match or two or every strike or two, you get something. Because if it's like 5 strikes for one little piece of gear, it's going to take a while, but at a minimum, there's still a chance at it. So that's a good thing. Tokens and collections. We know Destiny is best when you're shooting aliens and stuff in the face. The idea is, say you have like 5,000 Crucible tokens saved up. If you go to Shaxx and turn those things in for, whatever gear he has available in Season 12 in Beyond Light, he's going to be giving you gear that is 20 power below your current power level. So previously, you could be leveling up and say I'm like 1150 and I'm missing like one piece of gear. Like my boots are like way behind level. I just haven't got a pair to drop in a while, and everything else continues to slowly trickle up. Well, if I have 5,000 tokens from playing a lot from previous seasons, I could previously have gone to Shaxx, turned in a bunch of tokens, and then I would get a drop that was within 3 at a minimum. Within 3, maybe it's a little closer. That is not a thing anymore. Also, you cannot pull anything from collections. That is going to be capped at 1050 power level. So it's going to be more about playing the game, getting the normal drops, and then earning the gear as you're kind of intended through gameplay. Now, some people may not like this because they have a lot of tokens saved up, but as for an average person playing through the game and actually just like enjoying the game for what it is, you're going to be earning gear in what I would call the right way. But for some of the veterans who have a bunch of stuff saved up, this doesn't benefit them, kind of takes away from that. But it is probably how it should be in the long run. This is going to be a better feel. Hopefully they continue to evolve the game in a better progression. Economy changes. We have some opinions here. We're going to discuss those. Materials that don't have a home. So we know destinations are going to be leaving and going in the Destiny content vault. So you've got Io, Mercury, Titan, and Mars. Those are all leaving. And they have things that go with them. All of these are currencies that are related to those planets. When Beyond Light launches, those planets are going away. You're not going to be able to earn any more. But they do state during Season of the Hunt, they will function as normal. So if a vendor is selling something that has those in it, or, you go to Spider and you can exchange those, they're going to function as normal. But in Season 13, so when Season of the Hunt ends, all you're going to be able to get for those is Glimmer. So your best bet is to either exchange them now, go to Spider. Like today, Spider was selling legendary shards for phase glass needles. If you don't need to turn them in for anything else, you could just turn all of your phase glass needles into Spider, get legendary shards, stockpile a few more of those, because honestly, phase glass needles are eventually going to phase out anyway. So, and my assumption could be totally wrong, but my assumption is honestly, like, I don't think anybody's going to be selling or much is going to be required that requires old currency things, because new players are not going to be able to acquire them, and they're not going to want to make like enhancement prisms have a rotation come through of Phase glass needles. So my guess is Spider's probably going to be the only one taking these during Season 12. So honestly, if you wanted to dump your currencies into Spider right now during Season 12, you would probably be okay and just stock up on a few more legendary shards. They're also going to be clearing some things out like expired ramen coupons, faction tokens, stuff you don't need. It's going to be kind of kicked out of your inventory and vault and stuff. You don't need it anymore. It's just taking up space. They're going to be doing some cleaning. Bounties. They have said they are trying to get away from the bounty fatigue, which is a good thing, but they've also said they are working on the overall general plan that they have for Season 13, where weekly bounties are not going to be as even big of a thing or totally replaced. But for the time being, they are trying to get some of the seasonal currencies and seasonal progressions away from the weekly bounties, and I think they've worked on some of that for Season 12. More changes will be coming in Season 13. So bounties are still going to be around somewhat in there, but they're trying to work on phasing away from them being quite as important. This is more of a long-term goal. At least this is a step in the right direction, I think. Season Pass. Now, this is kind of a controversial topic. We're talking about Bright Dust is the big one. Bright Dust is used to purchase things from the Eververse store. Currently in the Season Pass, you're able to get about 2,500 Bright Dust if you own the Season Pass. The free path has some in it as well. They're changing it up. Now the Season Pass is going to have 10,500 Bright Dust, and you're probably like, it's not a bad thing. That actually sounds pretty good. We're going to get more through the Season Pass, which generally is a good thing. And this benefit is going to specifically help out the people who have one character that they play. They focus on that one character and they do everything on there. They may not even have made the other two characters. A one character player is going to get good benefits out of this because they can't do as many weekly bounties as other people. Now, the weekly bounties are going from 200 down to 100 Bright Dust. So those are going to be less valuable, less incentive to run them. But also you run into the issue of the hardcore player. They have all three characters, and maybe they do want to grind out and build up their collection of Bright Dust. Well, now, as the weekly bounties give you half the benefit, yes, you're going to get more in the Season Pass, but generally over the course of about a 13-week season, somebody did the math, and a hardcore player that does every weekly bounty on all three characters for every week of the season theoretically now is only going to be able to earn about 66% of the Bright Dust that they could in previous seasons. So they're losing about a third of the overall Bright Dust they could earn in a season. For a person who plays just one character and grinds that one out, they're probably going to be about the same. But a hardcore person with three characters is going to see a diminishment in the amount of Bright Dust that they can earn over the course of a season. Now, they mentioned down here that Bright Dust will be improving how you earn Bright Dust in Season 13. We'll have to see what that's like. Personally, the boost of the Season Pass would have been nice for the single-player character to see a benefit, but then also giving a reward to the person who spends hundreds of hours in your game over the course of a season. I don't think this needed to be knocked down for now until the improvement came later, because again, somebody spending a lot of time in your game is generally going to be a good thing. Whether they spend hundreds of hours, whether they may not spend as much money, they're spending a whole lot of time. They're likely to buy the next Season Pass. They're likely to have friends that play as well. Overall, probably going to be an okay thing. But again, we'll have to see how this plays out. We'll have to see what comes in Season 13. Some people are not happy about this. The other piece is Spider. Now, for Spider, he is no longer going to be selling legendary shards. So as I was saying, if you want to turn in your current currencies for legendary shards, you need to do that now before Beyond Light launches, because you will not be able to buy legendary shards for anything come Beyond Light starting. So if you want to do that exchange, and you're okay on your other currencies that you might want to buy, do that before Beyond Light launches, because that is not going to happen. Secondly, they said instead of the legendary shards, Spider is going to sell enhancement prisms for 400 legendary shards per prism, and you can only purchase 3 a week. 400 legendary shards per prism. Just for example, I play a lot, not as much as some, but more than probably the average basic player. I have about 14,000 legendary shards, almost 15,000. I did the math. I could buy 37 prisms. We can hold a total of 50 prisms, so I literally could use my prisms, dump every legendary shard I have, and I still couldn't even actually restock that. That's how expensive those are. You only get to purchase 3 a week, but this is really expensive. I think this is a way for them to try and whittle down some of the legendary shards that some of the crazy players have, like me, who have stocked up too much. But for the average person, this is going to be way too expensive for a prism. It's honestly going to be better off to go run a medium difficulty Nightfall. Go get them in there. You're going to be much better off. Now they also changed Enhancement Cores. Previously, you could buy them for 10, and then the second one would be 20, then 40, then 80, and then 160. Unfortunately, they're changing that. So now each one is going to be 30, but it starts at 30. So again, if you have a decent amount of legendary shards and you want to get a few more enhancement cores as well, buy one for 10 and one for 20, because so you get two legendary or two enhancement cores for the price of what one will be in Beyond Light. Now, granted, I don't know who goes to buy them at 40, 80, and 160. I always like, if I ever go to Spider, I might buy like one or two and then I stop, because that's kind of where the threshold was for me in my head. And apparently that fits, because 30 is where they see it. But they're saying, well, if you want to buy the 5 enhancement cores because you're limited to 5 each day, well, you're going to be spending 160 less shards every time. I don't know whoever spent these values anyway. I kind of wish they did 10, 20, and then 30, 30, 30, like maxing it out that way. But that's not my choice. So enhancement cores right now, if you've got legendary shards that you want to spend and you want to boost those up a little bit in the next week or so, buy the 10 and 20 every day at Spider and at least get a couple from them. But again, that is going to change. You're maxed at 5 every day, and you're also going to be 30 per, but at least it doesn't exponentially go up. Silver lining, though, gotta say, do we have some benefit here? Sparrows are all going to have the instant summon. They just will literally all come with it. Doesn't matter what the perks on it are. So that being said, if you do have a Sparrow that has the Transmog preloader, which allows them to summon instantly, that perk really won't do anything in Beyond Light. So you're actually going to have more benefit of having other perks, other Sparrows that have different perks equipped, because then you're actually going to be more likely to get a benefit from those, because the Transmog preload does nothing. So the ones where when you're driving around, you get the reload, you have better dodging, that type of stuff, you can have those perks and you don't need the instant summon because they all will do it now, which is what it should be, because everybody only uses that perk and then something else, but that was the required perk because everyone wants the instant summon. So they're all going to do that. That's a good thing. Finally, down here, we've got Eververse. They're just going to have a whole bunch of stuff in there. So basically, if you're in season 12, you go back 3 seasons, 11, 10, 9. From season 1 through from season 9 through 3 seasons ago, you're going to be able to get all those things in bright engrams, and it's going to continue forward. So season 13 would be 1 through 10, and so forth. Couple other things that Luke Smith said in a Twitch kind of podcast that he was on. I would say 3 major things. 1, Transmog. That is not ready yet, but they said when it does happen, it is going to go based off of your collections. You will not need to still have the armor like in your vault, for example, for it to work with Transmog. So if you feel like you've been holding on to a bunch of stuff, you can now clean that stuff out and delete it if you need to. Save any armor you feel like is going to be usable next season, but you don't need to hold on to stuff for Transmog anymore. So you can check that box. Second one that we're looking at is going to be related to the size of the expansion itself. And that, he basically states as follows. Forsaken, they had nearly twice as many people working on that as they do now. Bungie is only so big of a studio, and Forsaken, they had the help of Activision and 2 other studios. They will probably never make an expansion that big again in the future as well, because of the size of help that they had previously. So setting expectations. But they did also say Beyond Light is going to be bigger than Shadowkeep without a question. So take Forsaken, take Shadowkeep. It's going to fall somewhere between those two for the size of content that we're going to be getting. So we get Season of the Hunt and Beyond Light. But again, keep your expectations in check. Bigger than Shadowkeep, smaller than Forsaken. So don't expect there to probably be like a hidden third planet that we don't know anything about. I don't expect there to be like a dreaming city on top of Europa, and we're getting Cosmodrome, even though it's like 3/4 of the Cosmodrome. So those are the couple main pieces that I wanted to basically cover for you guys. Hopefully this helps you guys kind of understand where things are going. Couple tips for you guys to get ready over the course of the next 8, 9, or 10 or 11 days that we've got left until Beyond Light launches. So you can trade in some currencies because they're not going to have much benefit. You guys can also get a few more enhancement cores if you feel like it. Look through your Sparrows, clear out your vault a little bit. Kind of a little bit of maintenance you can do on your character to get ready, because that's pretty much all I've got left until Beyond Light. I'm still working on Chrono Trigger, and then might be checking out Watch Dogs Legion as well. So if you guys are new to the channel and you enjoyed the video, drop a like below, leave a comment if you've thought of anything else that I may have missed from today's news. If you are new to the channel as well, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and the alert bell. I'll be covering a lot of games, but Destiny is definitely always still going to be a big focus for me. PS5, we're going to have Demon Souls, Godfall, and a couple other things as well. And then finally, of course, if you want to find me on twitch.tv/Ebontis, I am streaming on there quite a bit. Was streaming tonight for a while. We're also going to do the Last Word podcast, episode 126. We're going to have the legendary Rick Cackus joining us, talking about all the crazy news that we had this week. And you can always find me on twitter.com/Ebontis as well. Thank you all very much. I will see you in the next one. Enjoy your day.